Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to scrub up this little piece of Andamooka matrix. You can see it's one of those classic purple flashy ones. We won't do any treatment or anything like that, but what we will do is we'll see how far we can get with the diamond resin burrs up to 1500 and see what the finish is like. I haven't tested it on Andamooka matrix material yet, so this will be a bit of an interesting one. You can see the start point here. There's not a lot of shine and flash. There's that rolling flash of color, but we don't have any glossiness to it. So we're going to see how far we can get just using those diamond resin burrs. Testing it on a bunch of materials. Let's spin up, and maybe this would be a good stone for a hole through pendant or something. Only one way to find out. Stage 1. So we're looking at it rough just quickly. It looks a little rough, but not too bad. It's already been pre-worked and treated. And then we're switching over to this 200 grit diamond resin burr, and it is quite scary how quickly it removes. You'll see that I'm pushing really lightly because this is the first time I'm working Andamooka matrix with this burr. And you can just see the mud forming right before your eyes. It is absolutely chewing through that material. And you'll see almost instantly the outer layer is gone, and so the treatment has all of a sudden very much disappeared. And you can see on the burr there how dirty it is. And instead of boulder opal mud, it is Andamooka mud, which is just a grayer, less brown kind of color. Very similar, a little bit stronger. It feels a little bit more like a soapstone, and you'll see here it is disappearing super quickly, so be very careful with the 200 grit. Remember, this is not polishing. 200 is definitely not polishing. You can see here how much it's removed once you've dried it, and it's that fully frosted glass kind of look, but in this case it's more like a soapstone kind of feeling. Very rough and rugged. It's actually taken it backwards from where it was. So this came from Riley Gunn. He must pre-cut them to a certain level, and that level is beyond the 200, which is fair enough because it is very, very rough at that point. Here you can see I go with the 400 grit. You'll notice that it is removing a bit of material, but you'll also see a little bit of green. So that green is definitely not the matrix itself, it is the burr itself degrading. Because it is so rough and it's a fairly hard stone, it does chew up the burrs a fair bit, but like I said, these hard resin burrs are much harder than Novas, and they survive a little bit better, so they don't actually degrade all that much. Post 400, it's still very rough, pretty much looks the same as the 200, maybe a little bit less shattered on the face. Then we move on to the 800 grit. The 800 grit is where things start calming down. You'll notice that it does disappear a little bit, but not too bad. There's a little bit of mud forming, but also you'll see that the burr is also degrading a little bit, and in this case they are both fairly similar colours, so it's hard to tell how much of one is disappearing compared to the other. The 800 grit does take quite a bit of material, as you can see just here from that side shot. It's creating a little bit of a mud, but it's not too bad. It's pretty gentle. Don't stress over this one. At this point you can start to breathe easy. You're not going to accidentally remove way too much material, but you will remove some. The important thing is that you get it to look like this. So it's just starting to lose that fog effect, and you should be able to see the pattern of everything behind it. If you press your finger up against it, you won't see fingerprints at this stage. That'll be the next stage. You just want to get a nice, even, foggy look. And then we move on to the 1500 grit. And this is where you can spend all day. If you have a look here, if the camera will focus, you'll see that the resin burr is mainly degrading in comparison to the stone. There's not a lot of the Andamooka matrix mud forming, but you can see that there is a fair bit of that yellow forming. And what I did with this one is I actually tried to clean up the burr. You can see all the other stones that I've worked have left some marks, especially a lot of that texture, the permanent marker, so I wanted to clean some of that off. And you can see here, I'm just going to hit one of these raw treated areas and just show you how little it's taking off. You'll see that we just aren't getting through that treatment at all, and yet the burr is degrading pretty well. So don't be too scared about the burrs degrading. Resin burrs, that's what they do. It's not sintered diamond, it's a much gentler on the stone, but pretty brutal on the burr. They will degrade, they are a consumable, but you'll get through quite a lot of stones with them, as I'm finding out now. Now let's have a look at the final stone. Okay, another material and another half decent finish. Now of course this isn't where I would leave it. I would just hit it with the aluminium oxide. That'll just give it that nice little bit of extra gloss, but as you can see we've finally got to the point where we're actually bouncing some of that light back. Now this would be probably taking it a little bit too far normally when it comes to pre-treatment, because this will of course have to be treated again. As you can see, that's what it's going to look like after it's been treated. This is only a very thin surface treat though, so you are probably going to need to treat again. I think the method that I would go for with this, especially when using these resin burrs in particular, I would be getting through the 200, get through the 400, get through the 800, do the treatment, and then come to the 1500 and finish it off like that. Because as I showed on one of these edges, I can't even remember which one it is. It was either this short end or this short end here. The other one's starting to get glossy, so I reckon it's this short end. I showed that how slowly that 1500 is going to remove that treatment. So you can see we haven't completely penetrated the treatment, and it is starting to get that gloss. So I reckon that's what you want to do. You want to get through that red 800, and after that I would give it a full treat and then move over to the 1500 and give it that pre-polish. And at this point I would just hit it with the aluminium oxide and you'll get that final shine that you're after. Because you can see it's still a little bit hazy. It's not that full flash like a headlight of a car. You kind of want it to just beam straight into your eyes. This is not quite there, but not bad for the 1500. The other thing is, this is, as you can tell, the really dense Andamooka matrix. So when it comes to the really dense Andamooka matrix, your treatment is always going to be much harder to penetrate. You can see here it's found a couple little crevices that it's running down and managed to get a little bit deeper into the stone. But unfortunately, the really dense stuff, it's incredibly nice because you can get a natural polish on it. You're definitely not going to need a resin, as you can see from this one. But the difficulty is getting that nice dark outside appearance, which you'll have to just very carefully get that final polishing step in after that 800. So the 1500 and aluminium oxide, and you won't lose that treatment color. On the softer stuff, it's far less of a problem, but you don't want to take it too far and then try to treat, because you'll end up sealing up the surface pretty well and you won't be able to get that sugar syrup to penetrate. And without the sugar there, you're not going to get a great dark look to it. But at least you can get it flashy and bouncy. And to be honest, I've seen plenty of matrix material that doesn't even need that sugar treatment anyway. When it's a little bit darker, just as a base tone, you can actually get a pretty good finish without any of that. But you can see on this stone, it will look much better when that surface gets retreated and you can get that purple to start leaping out again. So yeah, good. Good to test it on all the materials, and that's another one down. If you work a lot of Andamooka, this is a pretty good option. I still would like to go up to 10,000 and then you might end up with a final polish. In fact, I'd like to go up to 50,000 because I know 100% with the Nova points, that works very well for some of the Andamooka matrix. The denser material anyway. You can get a perfectly good finish going up to the 50,000 Nova. So I'll keep working on that. But for now, just going to have to finish this one off with aluminium oxide and get that final shine on it. Even after that point, you can give it a treat, but it will be very surface level. And this one, I reckon I'll drill a hole in it, make it into a little pendant. Infinite possibilities, really. Might even do a bit of a decorative carving on the face of it. Almost feels like marble when you get to this stage. It's a lot like a kitchen bench top. This is just yet another material, and I've still got a few more to go. I've even had a recent request in the comments section asking me if it can work on metal, particularly aluminium, or aluminum as the Americans would say. And I didn't really think about it, but with the silver smithing and that kind of thing, it's actually interesting. If it does work, I'll be sure to let you know, but I will give it a bit of a test behind the scenes, maybe even record a video. It's not really stone, but heaps of you guys probably work with a lot of that stuff anyway, and maybe it is something that's needed. Typically, I just use sandpaper, but I've never actually thought about using resin burrs for that. So anyway, I'm going to move on to the next material. Good luck, have fun, stay safe. I'll see you in the next one. Catch you guys.